Hey everyone, welcome to the Fighting Dementia podcast. We're here to support those in the early to middle stages of dementia, people living with it, people supporting people with dementia, and seeing how we can learn about how to look after your brain health and maybe stop some of that neurodegeneration. So I'm Leon.
I'm Tom. I've had dementia for 8 years and I'm living well with it. Thank you.
There you go. Fran?
Hiya, I'm Fran. I've had dementia now for 6 years and I'm doing really well at the moment. And
it's a pleasure to welcome Grahame.
Hi, yes, I'm Grahame Smith. So I'm an associate professor in mental health innovation and do a lot of work in the dementia space as well as other areas as well. So, yeah, lovely to be here. Thank you very much.
Great to have you here. And I thought we'd start with Tom's painting, which you've brought in, which I think is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I do. It's fun.
And hopefully you can see that. If you're listening, it's a wonderful painting of a ship in a cove. And I mean, the detail of it is absolutely exceptional. I think you mentioned it last time on the podcast, didn't you, Tom?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's great, isn't it? It's just...
How long did it take you?
3 weeks.
Wow.
Was it good for you, Tom, to do it? Did it distract you or did it make you...
Well, the telly wasn't on, the radio wasn't on. I just sat there just quietly doing it.
Yeah.
Just carrying on. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And you're going to do some more?
Yeah, I've got another one on the go.
Fantastic. Well, I think it just shows you, and you've not really painted in your life before, have you?
Only walls and things.
Kellyanne was asking me about you.
Your daughter?
Yeah, my daughter was asking, and Daisy was asking what you were doing with the wooden stuff. And I said, I think it carves it out. It was on the last podcast.
The one with the
calligraphy, yeah.
I
like doing that and all, but
I said, do we just that as well?
That's a summer one. When I get thrown in the garage then, because it stinks the house out otherwise.
I was showing her your picture.
Yeah.
And they were made up with it.
And I think it's amazing, the quality of it's amazing, and like learning a new skill like that is really good for brain health. That's right, isn't it, Grahame?
Yeah, so it's all about connections and new connections, or what people talk about neural pathways. So you're not necessarily going to grow neurons. There is some controversial theories out there regarding growing neurons. The focus really of the day-to-day now is thinking about new connections. So I've always said, I think previously, learn a new skill, even if you do it badly. You don't have to do it well. So if you're going to dance, you've always wanted to dance and learn Latin, but you don't think you've got any rhythm, doesn't matter, learn it. Yeah. If you're going to sing, join it. You have lots of dementia choirs out there. Give it a go. It doesn't matter if you can't do it well. It's not about doing things well. If you do things that you've done in the past and you continue to do them, that's using those neural pathways that you've used previously. So it's about new connections, which is certainly the important thing to focus on.
Brilliant. And Fran, you've also had a go at painting recently, haven't you? You shared some flowers and stuff. We'll have to put them on the screen now, because even though it's early in your drawing career and stuff, I think they still look nice. So here they are on the screen.
No.
No, you didn't know I was going to do that, did you? But tell us how it's been for you, getting into painting and thinking about.
It's good, Yeah, it is. I was just saying to Tom, because Tom's done that. I thought so. I got a little one from Home Bargain. It's a little vase with just flowers
like a paint by numbers type.
Yeah, by numbers. Yeah. And I'm laughing when I'm doing it. I'm thinking, oh my goodness. I can't remember the last time I'd done that. I'd done that when I was a child. I remember getting the Gainsborough lady for Christmas. I'll always remember that. And I painted that. My dad used to paint with velvet. Onto velvet. And it just brought loads of memories back as well from when I was younger.
That's interesting.
And what we done when we were younger and the presents we got. We only ever got that one present at Christmas. You didn't get loads of things. You just got the one. So I've got this painting by numbers, but I'm going to buy another one and use the paint off the other one because I think I've used the paint wrong, Tom. So I'm just going to, because it was only quite cheap.
Let it dry and just paint over it.
Yeah. So I thought I'll do that. And it got me, I nearly got done for shoplifting in the works.
Oh. You can get away with that with dementia, can't you?
I got one of those pallets with the little grooves in. And I had it in my hand, and I had Daisy and Lily. They were buying stuff. And I just had it in my hand, and I merrily
See you later.
Walking out the shop. And I looked at it and I ran back. I said, oh my God, I've just walked out the shop with this. And that, so I've got one of them. Keep buying little bits as I go along to...
Great.
Have a look on Amazon.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, but that, Tom, is amazing.
No, it's
fantastic.
easy.
I like the atmosphere in it.
Anyone can do that.
Well,
Tom, it takes
know.
a long time, and you say that you've got to concentrate on keeping it in the edges or stuff like that, because that's what I've found with this little one.
Yeah.
You've got your paintbrush and you're sort of doing it, and you think, oh, that's nice, and then you think, because there's a number 6 just hiding behind it. That's so little.
Yeah.
And
So
is
there something to be
it's a
said?
skill.
It's absolutely. What I was going to say is there something to do with the actual, because we had Nicola from the British Gymnastics Foundation, and we were doing things with your fingers about going from, thumb to there, and on the other hand, like moving your fingers in certain ways that the brain can find quite tricky, which is then sort of like mental gymnastics. So is there something to be said around painting and using like the cognitive function of where your hand places and those sort of motor neuron skills? Does that link to anything that's healthy for your brain in terms of the new skill?
Actually, neurologically, also stroking your arm stimulates neurons in your brain as well. The cuddles and physical touch and things like that. Certainly,
I'll have to tell Marion.
and things.
Yeah,
we don't
have to start cuddling.
we don't fully know about things like touch and movement and dancing, and but there's certainly a Dance for Dementia project that's been going for a number of years. So we don't fully know why he does what he does. I mean, one of the things to recognise is that we don't really know what I'm going to say is the normal brain, whatever that means in that sense. There's lots of projects across the world that are trying to understand that. And the reason that's important is if we can understand the normal brain, then we can try and work out why it goes wrong, or whatever in relation to wrong means. And that, so probably what I'd tell you the view is that if you're not particularly dexterous, then try and move. And that can be a challenge for some individuals, because it's very easy to talk about dementia and forget that individuals can have other chronic conditions or enduring conditions as well.
Arthritis.
All those kinds of things. Well, trying to move. So being active. So when we talk about posture, really what we're talking about is people not being active in their posture. And at a neurological level, that's we kind of know that that's a good thing, that kind of movement. So what I'd say is, do it. Don't overdo it, obviously. Do it. So, for example, me and Tom had a conversation about him concentrating on the painting and forgetting to drink. So making sure that you look after yourself is really, really important.
Because you were doing it like 3 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Because you were so concentrated in it. Yeah.
Time just flew.
Yeah. And there's something about a consciousness stream, almost like a Zen kind of thing to it. And there is some work in that space around that.
Saying that it's positive.
Well, it is positive, absolutely. So it can be quite what we'd say being in the moment and being one with the painting. But if you're not drinking, looking after yourself, then there can be a downside to that. So it's about looking after yourself. It's also thinking about meaningful activities. So Fran mentioned about painting and those memories that came forth out of the activity. So journaling those memories is really useful. And a lot of the memory apps that are out there actually they work on a level which is to do with connecting with family members, previous memories, all those kinds of things. So they stimulate. So we talk about cognitive stimulation. So the activity is stimulating. So do something with that activity which stimulates. So in some ways, the painting doesn't matter as much as keep doing it.
Yeah.
What's really important is that you're being cognitively stimulated.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like when you're moving your hands, if you're being physically stimulated, it doesn't really matter about the outcome. It's about the process.
Yeah.
But do make sure that you look after yourself, whatever you do.
Remember that.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
it's
do
really
think
great
it's
advice.
about changing your behaviour though, isn't it? I think Tom and I would say that's what's working for us. Because if I didn't do what I do now with you and Tom and Marion and other people, I think I'd be very insular, where we're not, are we?
Oh, no, we're always out and about somewhere.
Get out and do something, and then we're learning new things all the time.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a light bulb moment. And I know some people can't do it because they're too advanced, or, it's a different type of dementia to what Tom and I have. But it after I'd done the Facebook,
You did a
social media
Facebook
with,
post for the Alzheimer's Society recently and
Alzheimer's.
went quite viral, didn't
There's
it?
so many people who are changing their behaviour as well. It's not, there's some who aren't, obviously, but there's a lot of people who are changing their behaviour
Well, it's becoming
and
a lot
finding
more
it better.
understood that, hang on, you could maybe do something about this, isn't it, Grahame? Whereas I don't think 10, 20 years ago, there was content or knowledge out there to say, right, here we go, you've got dementia, let's fight it, as it is with cancer. It's not, wasn't like that with dementia.
Yeah, it has changed. I mean, there's the GPs weren't diagnosing dementia because there was a feeling that older adults didn't really need that diagnosis. And that once you've got dementia, it was almost a life sentence, a death sentence. And I've heard terms being used like a plague and those kinds of things. And on national television, I do tend to find the adverts, the charity type calls tend to be a little bit negative.
We said that, didn't we?
And I do feel that it doesn't dwell too much on the positive, which it should. So people can live well with dementia for a number of years, depending on the type of dementia. They can live well. Sometimes when they don't live well, it's because of their social type circumstances. So, nearly 70% of people live with dementia at home. A third of those live on their own. Are looked after by usually a relative, might be a spouse, partner, whatever, who is a similar age, and they might have their own challenges. They might feel socially isolated because of all those things. So it's more to do with social circumstances. If you can kind of increase those kind of networks, social networks, and there's lots of projects that are around that's supporting people to engage and connect. This being one of them, which is important. And I think as people become more technologically and social media savvy, then these kinds of approaches will assist individuals. And I think when we talk about dementia, we've also got to think about, when we talk about living with dementia, we're not just talking about the person diagnosed with dementia.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're also talking about social network, family, carers, and the challenges that they also experience as well. And they need to look after their brain health. And that's really important. Because for some, I'm interested in what one advert that I saw was that the daughter was not recognised and she was quite emotional. How was she supported? And I know that they're selling a product and they're focusing on that product. But actually the individual was quite upset.
Distressed.
So during that, what support did she have? And I think if you're caring for somebody living with dementia, then try and get that kind of support. Try and get somebody around you, a network that gives you that space. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to live alone in that sense. And I think things like these podcasts help tremendously. And I think talking about it is now helping us to think about how we can live positively as well. Whereas, as you said, 10, 15 years ago, it was, oh yeah, you've got dementia, it's a death sentence, how are you going to cope, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I think it's like a grieving process for people who are looking after us. Because you're going, your personality's changed, everything's changing, and gradually it will come to a point where it's totally changed. And I think people who are looking after, when I see people looking after people with dementia in places that I go, I feel wholeheartedly sorry, because they look tired, scared, worn out.
Yeah.
And it looks to me like they're grieving for something that they haven't got.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a very
That they're losing.
Yeah, that's a very Western thing as well, isn't it? So we believe that we have an I inside us.
Yeah.
It's a real person, a self.
Yeah.
And that everything that's kind of built up, we hang on to.
Yeah.
When actually we live and then we die. I disappears. And to get kind of a little bit Buddhist or Zen about that, I is a bit of a falsehood. It changes.
Yeah.
So during the process of dementia, the person is becoming something. They are changing in that sense. And we're very fixated by holding on to memories.
Yeah.
And that if a person doesn't remember you, they're not that person that I remembered. And there's all those things around those memories that we kind of have to hold on to. And yet, nowadays, if we think about it technologically, memories can be held on in all kinds of technological ways.
Yeah.
That a person can almost, and I know we're starting to see that kind of conversation, and it feels kind of sci-fi, but we're starting to move in that direction, which is that memory, potentially personality, is being moved to being supported by things like AI and various technological links to the brain. And maybe I won't say it in my lifetime, but we're starting to see that movement in that kind of way, which is an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity to start to think about who are we and what are we, rather than thinking it's, and it's interesting when people talk about death sentence, the absolute in life, I mean,
it's that you will die.
You die and you pay taxes, that's what people say, don't they? And that is an absolute. And there are Zen meditations around thinking about your death, not because it's about being miserable, it's actually about being positive. In other words, realising what you have got.
Absolutely, yeah, being grateful, yeah.
Yeah, and thinking about who you are, where you're going, all those intentions that you could set down. And it doesn't mean that they have to be goals. They could be intentions. Doesn't mean you have to reach them. So that doesn't have to be a fantastic painting. You just did it. It's a process. And then the outcome's taken care of itself, hasn't it? From that perspective. And that's kind of thinking about how you live your life, which is, it's about process.
Yeah.
And if you manage the process with good intention, then the outcome will take care of itself.
We really hope you're enjoying this podcast. We want this to be one of the best free resources for any family affected by dementia. With your help, we can build the biggest community in the world for supporting, guiding and comforting everyone who faces cognitive issues and the people around them. So please hit that subscribe button or share it with someone who needs it. Oh yeah, I think it's really fascinating. It reminds me of Peter when you were talking, who's 11 years since diagnosis, who's still riding penny farthings. He was diagnosed at 50, 61 now, which, you know, by all accounts, young onset dementia is supposed to be more aggressive, but he's 11 years in riding penny farthings. But he says he really doesn't have any memories and he lives for moments.
Yeah.
But he was like here happily talking on the podcast about the memories that he does have or who he is as a person. And you know, he says, well, tomorrow I probably won't remember this, but I live for the moments, you know, in my dementia journey. But he was positive and happy, wasn't he? And I'm sure he does have, you know, days where he's tired and days where he's low, like everybody else does in the world. But he's still able to be present and still do things that he knows he enjoys, like get on his penny farthing. God knows why he enjoys that. But
you have to live in the now.
Yeah.
You can't afford to live in the past.
Which a lot of young people
You can't
could benefit from that
in the
advice
future.
with social media and the amount of anxiety and mental health issues.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who, wherever you are in life, could benefit from living in the now, couldn't they? And being fully present.
Yeah. I think you have to be slightly careful with what's called mindfulness, which is the kind of almost the fast food takeaway perspective that somehow if you're mindful, then all your troubles will wash away, even though you're struggling with housing and money and choices and those kinds of things. There are lots of older adults that are challenged by being asset rich and cash poor. So live in a big house, worth lots, well, they don't have the cash to do certain things. So there are challenges. There are things to think about living in the society that we live in. Well, there are also opportunities as well. There are also the chances to do different things, to think differently about yourself. And I think for older adults, that sometimes for some they go off and do different things, and for others, for varying reasons, they feel they have to stick in their box as such. And it doesn't matter whether you've got a condition or not a condition. The question to ask yourself is, do I have to stick in that box?
Yeah.
Can I be more than if I want to be? Can I be different? Why can't I? Why can't I break away? Why do we think that young people have to go off and become? Why can't older adults go off and become?
I totally agree. We'll be selling your works in a year, Tom, in gallery.
I think we're different, aren't we, Tom?
Oh, definitely
we're
different.
Totally different, which you're going to be anyway if you get dementia in some way. But it's a nice difference, isn't it? It's not,
it is. Yeah.
I wouldn't wish this on anybody, but if you've got dementia of any sort or cognitive disorders, you really need to live in the moment. I know what you're saying about mindfulness, because we can't really do mindfulness, can we?
No.
Because our mind won't allow us to do that sometimes because of the way we are and the way we think or don't think. But
and yet,
I think
you did for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Which is because the concentration level of that. So it's about what mindfulness is and what it
I was
means
just going to say,
you.
it depends what you see mindfulness as. I think if you're looking at it from a point of view, people think it's something that you go and do and you sit and you do yoga, or you sit for so many hours.
Yeah, and you sit in silence.
You sit
That's
in
what
silence,
some people
you do things
it,
and you think about the way you think about things and
your thoughts
and stuff. And I understand that, but we can't do that. We can do that because we've got something in front of us and we're doing those type of things, but we can't do
certain other things.
So but for us, it's changed our life, hasn't it?
That's mine.
Doing something and changing our behaviour and living this new life. And we're doing okay with it, aren't we?
Well, certainly am.
Yeah.
I've said before, but before I got diagnosed, I was a really angry person. And since I've been diagnosed, I'm a completely different person.
Yeah.
Better attitude to life, better look after my family better. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think it's almost like the dementia diagnosis has ended up shocking you into like maybe reflecting more or thinking about how things need to be different.
Oh, definitely.
You got different worries compared to what you had before. And like I lost my
worry. What's that?
I lost my hair through alopecia, and it made me look at everything in my life, diet, relationships, psychology, all those types of things, to look at some of the underlying factors of, because it's like there's something to do with information and all that, but there's also, stress can be the huge trigger. So like, why was I so stressed? Was I even aware that I was so stressed?
Yeah.
And sometimes I think it takes a huge life event for that reflections to come, doesn't it? And I think that's what Tammy, who'd written a book about is dementia an opportunity to look at childhood traumas and reflect on those and to deal with those, maybe because actually dementia might trigger childhood traumas to come out. It's quite a complicated chat, but quite an interesting episode. And it's interesting that, if you get diagnosed with cancer, and then you realise, I shouldn't be eating any sugar. well, you shouldn't have been eating sugar for the last 10 years, really. But now you've got cancer, it's flipping you into action to really reflect on your health. And in this case, it's your brain health. Would you say there's something to that, Grahame, in terms of how Tom's describing his sort of attitude change to life and himself?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it, about, are you dementia? Is dementia you? And what is dementia to you? Or is dementia happening to you? Or is this just you and you happen to have this thing, this label that says, oh, you've got dementia, but actually this is just your life journey. And the very diagnosis that you mentioned is the opportunity to say, well, in some ways excuse and say, oh yeah, well, I've always wanted to do that anyway, so I've got dementia, so I'm going to do it.
Does that mean I could rob a bank then and get away with it?
Oh, can I come with you?
Yeah.
I'll be your lookout.
Well, that's interesting. Can I do things that I've never done before? Can I, because of this diagnosis, can I do things? Can I achieve things that I've always wanted to? Question is, why didn't you do it before?
Yeah.
It's like, and why now? And there's philosophically there's a kind of view that we're defined by the mountains rather than the valleys. The valleys are the easy stuff. The mountains are the hard stuff. So having a diagnosis of dementia defines you, how you make sense of that. And you need to be slightly careful because, again, go back to this argument about social circumstances. But it is an opportunity to define yourself or redefine yourself. And enjoy going up the mountain to go back down the mountain into the valley.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me reflect on, there was it was Tony Robbins, the...
Oh, yeah.
Timmy Mallet.
What is he? He's like a...
Yeah, and a very right-wing chap. Is it him you're talking about?
No, Tony Robbins is the sort of very American, come on, we can do this, inspirational growth. What do you call them? And, what do you call them, Grahame?
Thought leaders
in, sort of...
Oh, that's a good new word.
I thought you meant Timmy Mallet.
In personal growth. And he says, some of the people that get given everything early in life, who are rich families, all the opportunities in the world, end up doing not so much and potentially even end up on drugs. But those who maybe had challenging childhoods, who've been, had, no money, had parents who were addicts, who were in, the gut, end up going on and achieving unbelievable things. And it's like, if you never experience any hardship, maybe you never sort of reflect on yourself. Whereas if you experience hardship quite young, maybe that's like a hardship of being diagnosed with cancer or, dementia or anything. That's maybe that opportunity that you do look at yourself and what you can do and sort of reflect and change and grow. I think that's similar to what you're talking about, isn't it, in terms of valleys and mountains? And
so I'm a thought leader.
Yeah, there you go.
I remember you asked me about my determination, and I said to you, I got it from my dad.
Yeah.
Because we had to work hard for what we wanted and what we done. It wasn't easy. It was, I wouldn't go into it all, but we had to do what we had to do. We had to work, and if anything came across, we had to work through it and get it done and go through that. And I think he's got a point, because if I maybe had a different life, I wouldn't be
You might have got diagnosed and okay, well, that's it. I'm going to sit at home.
End of type of thing. Whereas we had to work hard for what we wanted.
And you were determined
and
to
we
do
had to recognise in the family that you were the next one up to look after the family while your mum and dad went to work. And so I fully agree with that. Yeah. And I'm glad now, because it has given me that determination to keep working with this.
It's brilliant. And I suppose we'll have a last little chat and then move on to Reminiscence Corner. We've been talking a lot about routines recently, both with Fran and Tom on the last episode, and the episode before was with Fran and Tom's partners, Marion and Frank. I wanted to get your thoughts on routines and the importance of routines when it comes to brain health?
I think they can be good because it's about cognitive rehearsal.
Yeah.
So it's about laying down and rehearsing things that so you don't lose that skill to do certain things, like, for example, cooking, or there might be things that you avoid doing, and cooking might be one of them because you worry about the gas, for example, whether you switch it off or whatever. It's important that you do it safely and be supported in terms of doing that. But doing things, getting up in the morning, continue to dress yourself, all those things that we take for granted. It's important that you continue to do that. And also slightly cautious with the routines, because I think it's important that you can also break your routine as well.
Yeah.
And so cognitive rehearsal is great, having a routine, but being fixated by certain things is also can be unhealthy. And not being able to move away from a routine is kind of unhealthy.
Because if you did that, then you wouldn't have the opportunity to paint for 3 hours.
Absolutely. So it's kind of there is something about thinking about building non-routine into your routine. Sounds a bit strange to say that,
but right,
in the afternoon or in the morning, that you have a couple of hours where you just do creative stuff and you don't know where it's going to go or what it's going to be.
Like
and then
going to Primark for you, Fran.
Yeah.
Who knows where I'll end up when I'm off to Primark.
I was in there on Monday. Primark.
There you go. Lovely. Looks great.
So it's that balance. Balance is kind of important in that sense. So have routine. Yes, that's routine things like, for example, I'm thinking about, yes, there are life skill type routine things, but there's also making sure that you go to bed at a reasonable time, you sleep, you have your 7-8 hours, whatever that means, that you eat your 3 meals a day, that it's nutritious, that you go for your walk, and also you do mental activity type things, because it's easy sometimes we think about physical activity as going almost like to a gym, but we don't think about mental activity as going to a gym. So if you get stressed, and you've mentioned stress, how do you manage that? There's something about managing that. That's your challenge in your mental gym to manage that in a healthy kind of way. And are there activities that you need to build in to your routine that is about letting things go in that sense? Have a routine, break your routine.
Great.
But my routine, I still work, mate, but my routine is just getting up and going to work and coming home. If I had do one day in, one day off, when I'm off, I just go, just relax. Or go and sit by my pond and listen to the fish talk to each other. No, that they don't, but that's what I love having a routine. Before I started work again, I don't know what I did. So I just sat and watched daytime telly. But now I'm working again. It's great having that routine.
I think the socialising's great for you.
Oh, it is,
as well, Tom.
Especially in the pub. I work in a pub, you see. That's what it is. I don't drink at all. Much.
A lot. But it is good, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah. You've got to go out and meet
the people are
and
nice, and socialising is good. I think that's a behaviour you need to learn as well sometimes. Go out, speak to people, speak to someone on the bus, speak to, only Scousers do that, I think. You just want to talk to everyone. It's always been something that I've always done, as you know, but it's just something that keeps you learning things as well.
Well, we've definitely talked before about if you get diagnosed with dementia and sit in and watch telly for 7 or 8 hours a day, is it pretty much not guaranteed, but that's a bad idea, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a one-trick pony, isn't it, watching television? So if you're watching television and you're engaging with it, so there are projects that are around using television to promote other activities like quiz-type activities, gaming activities, connecting with other people, the kind of God-in-the-room type approach that people very much use television as the even switching it on and just leaving it on and not always engaging with it. So there is something about, if it promotes engagement, cognitive stimulation, cognitive rehearsal is not necessarily a bad thing. But if you're just sitting there and it's a one-trick pony, you're not doing anything cognitively, and it's just going in, going out, then that's not necessarily a good thing. And I think
if you're sedentary for 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah, so if you're sitting there and physically you're not moving, that core is not moving, is in some ways problematic. If you can move, that's the important thing. So some people use television, they might put on activities and moving and watch television, but do activities as they watch television. For example, they might have the exercise bike in front of the TV. That's not uncommon. I think when you think of young people and social media, there's this obsession with thinking social media can be bad, but actually, when I was a kid, you engaged with your peers by being on a street corner a lot of the time. Now we have almost like a virtual street corner where young people engage in that kind of way. And we're seeing it more with older adults. They use social media, various platforms to engage with others. Podcasts being one of them, as we're here for that. For that sense, but there's something about using those types of technological platforms to be able to engage with others. But yes, I mean, if you don't watch television, you just sit in your chair and look through the window, and that's it. You don't do anything. Then obviously, it's just one trick, and it's not going to do you any good from that perspective.
Great advice. Right, we'll have a short break, and we'll come back for Reminiscence Corner.
Thanks, everyone. There you go. Well, when we went to that ball, that done me
ball
in. Murder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was that loud, and it got louder and louder, and I just walked out in the end and sat in the bar where it's nice and quiet.
Yeah. And the people were lovely there, weren't they, Tom? It was a lovely night, but it was just so noisy and loads of clapping. But that's to do with us,
It's not them, it's us, isn't it?
They're doing what they're doing, but we just feel a little bit agitated and a bit
it's like overstimulation.
And the other thing is, I don't know about you, Tom, when you're in a crowded place, you've got to look where you're going and what you're doing, and it's horrendous because you're trying to look where you're going, and then you've got all this noise, and then people are coming up to you and going to the side of you and stuff like that, and you're wobbly as it is, aren't you?
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, I'm definitely wobbly. That's without a drink.
Yeah.
So I just thought, seeing as you're here, Grahame, just have a reflect on that like overstimulation and dementia and how all that relates and how to think about it and how to manage, being out there in the world, but then these environments.
I think sensory processing is a challenge for lots of neurological disorders, and it's kind of understanding what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Because there are lots of people that without a diagnosis of dementia find it very difficult in crowds. So how do you, I suppose the challenge is, how do you socialise but not to the point where you distress yourself? So it's kind of, how do you develop techniques that balance that for you? I'm being rhetorical because obviously it's for the individual to work out what works, and it's also not being hard on yourself, thinking, well, actually, I can't be in this space for very long, but I'll give it a go for a period of time, and then when I'm feeling it's too much, I'll wander out. So some of the research that we've done within the dementia space, we always make sure that there's an opportunity for breaks. But that can be with other neurological conditions as well. But always make sure that there's an opportunity to be able to bug out and not be feeling that you have to be there all the while. But there are innovation conferences where they are genderless, and they have this concept called butterflies, where it gives people the opportunity to kind of go in and out of various activities, because some people kind of learn like that, and that operates for them.
Interesting.
And it's this thing about normalising that and not being hard on yourself about it, and being honest with your support network. Great, I've done this, I'm going to go out now just for a bit of a break. And as long as people know that you're supported to do that, then that's a good way and a healthy way to manage that distress.
What do you think about that, Tom?
I
do you
think
find it easy to express, like, oh, actually this is too much? And
well, yeah, really. I just say, I say to Marion, just a bit much, I'm going to go wander off for a bit.
Yeah.
And she's fine, as long as she knows where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about you, Fran? Because you had a 70th birthday party, all your friends, all your family there.
Yeah.
A lot going on. Would you find it difficult to move away from that and have a break, or would you feel like pressure
I
to be
enjoyed
there?
that day because it wasn't a proper all-out birthday party. It wasn't big disco or a group or anything like that. It was just to pop in, come and have a drink with us.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of food there, and that was it for us. So that was, for me, that was ideal.
Yeah.
I didn't have a load of, the noise wasn't horrendous
loud,
because people were just coming in and out and having a chat, and we were catching up, and it was just a nice, relaxed.
And it was everybody you knew in the whole
and
room
everybody
as
I
well.
knew, yeah. But what I do now, as Tom was saying when we went to that
The
ball, it was amazing, and the people were lovely, but the noise. Now, I got agitated more because I knew I had to stay there to do that talk with Meryl. And but I thought, I'm doing it for this, so we'll just get it done and then we'll go home.
Yeah.
And when I go out somewhere now, I go early. And like my friend's daughter was 21 in town. We went early. There wasn't loads of people there. We had a few drinks, a sandwich, and then we went when everyone was coming, who was, all the kids were coming and they were all starting to, have a great time. Yeah. and that was lovely to see. But then Frank and I just come home then. We definitely look at what we're doing and where we're going.
Yeah.
But not to the point where we don't have a life.
Yeah.
About going out. But noisy places.
Yeah. And it's important.
Mind-boggling.
It seems important that you express yourself. If you are in the early stages and you're starting to learn and feel certain ways as
work around it.
Yeah. It's important that you express to the people around you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Grahame, would you say that, like, how you are feeling and how you are managing things?
Well, we don't like to be called antisocial, do we?
No.
And I suppose in some ways, when you've got a diagnosis of dementia or diagnosis of anything, it gives you the opportunity to say, I can't do this because of my diagnosis in some ways. It's just a shame that as a society, we don't recognise that just because people find it uncomfortable in a crowd, it doesn't mean they're being antisocial. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to apply a label to them. Let them be their own person and being comfortable with that. So if you do feel that it's too much for you, then yes, if you've got a diagnosis of dementia, certainly there are lots of dementia-friendly type schemes out there.
Yeah, the Empire has them.
Yeah, in all kinds of places, from airports to you name it, to various
theatres, cinemas,
the emergency services. They're all out there. So there's take advantage of that. I would say in that sense, make sure that you look after yourself in that way.
The cinemas lower the sound, don't they? And they make it lighter for you and stuff like that, because the cinema is like booms, doesn't it?
There is growing awareness
and the
across
shows,
industries, isn't there?
Yeah.
Morrison's having like a dementia-friendly shopping time. And there is
Sainsbury's
awareness growing.
do something for autistic children and ADHD where they lower the lights and they don't have no music playing.
And they have slow lanes as well, don't they?
Yeah. There is stuff out there for you to do, isn't it? It's just finding it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
How do you find a pub if it gets noisy, Tom?
I don't go. What, the one I'm working?
Oh, yeah.
I used to go out, because I used to play rugby. All the lads played rugby. They always used to go out a lot. And I found that it was just too noisy in the pub for me.
Yeah.
So in a way, I stopped going out with them because it's too noisy. But where to work, it's fine. because I don't see anybody. You say I go in at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
By the time I'm finished at 12, everyone's coming in, I'm going home.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
fine. But
good,
anything too noisy, just drowns it out.
I don't go to musicals or anything now
I never like them.
because they're too noisy. They're too noisy.
Yeah.
Anything that's loud on stage, I can't. Well, I don't really go now at all. Used to always go, Kelly and I, but we're doing other things now. Going to
you
nice
mentioned
sedate things.
pottery.
Yeah.
We're
Pottery.
going to glass paint next.
Wonderful.
That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great to hear.
We're doing some, little things, but things that aren't. The
You're
candle
challenging
making, there was
yourself.
loads of people there, but it wasn't noisy because they were all concentrating on making the candle and stuff.
Lovely.
So it was good. You have to change, don't you? You have to
Well, I like to try and-
accommodate yourself to what you can.
I like to try and challenge
deal with.
myself every now and again, like doing that. I'll find something else to do eventually, to do something else, and
Yeah.
just keep going at it, really. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love that picture.
I know,
love
it's really fantastic.
Moon.
The moon. I thought it was the earth.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks,
problem.
Grahame, for coming in.
Oh,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Always,
It's really
always
nice
a
to
pleasure
see
to
you.
have you on, and hopefully you can keep coming back regularly because we always learn a lot when you're on. So it's been great
Yeah.
to have you again.
Even when I'm not rehearsed.
Exactly. When you've got no information whatsoever about what we're going to talk about.
We can't rehearse, can we, Tom? Because we
We
forget.
just forget it.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye now. Have a good day.
Thanks for listening to us today. Hope it's been useful. If you have any questions or comments that you wish to make, just contact us on social media.
Thanks again for listening today. Just a reminder to do your own research. We always take guests, scientists, researchers, people supporting people living with dementia, people living with dementia at their word. They might talk about things that are new in science. They might talk about things that have really helped them. So just a reminder, do your own research. And thanks again for listening.